Louis Hayes is one of the last original bebop musicians and drummers. He can be heard on dozens of recordings. All of those recordings are of high quality groove and swing. Louis Hayes is from Detroit, Michigan. What's up, Detroit? He was 18 years old, making his debut with Horace Silver on Six Pieces of Silver. This is one of the best albums ever. If you've not checked it out, you missing out. If you're a fan of Boogaloo, Bebop, Motown, well, that's Louis Hayes. Louis Hayes playing embodies those three colors. Louis Hayes' sound and playing define specific sounds and feelings in the music. Here are some other iconic recordings he was part of. Cannonball Adderley Quintet in San Francisco. Barry Harris Trio, live at the Jazz Workshop. That's one of my all-time favorites. John Coltrane, Lush Life. Dexter Gordon, Homecoming. Grant Green, Born to Be Blue. Joe Henderson, The Kicker. John Lee Hooker, That's My Story. Freddie Hubbard, The Body and the Soul. Eddie Jefferson, There I Go Again. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Louis Hayes, to date, has contributed 23 albums as a leader. That's a lot. His most recent release is Don't Play With Love. Here to share more insight on Louis Hayes' mastery, please welcome Master of the Saxophone, Mr. Vincent Herring.
Hello, I'm happy to be here today. My name is Vincent Herring, and this is why Louis Hayes is Bout It. When I did the Cannonball Legacy Band with him, he called me up and he was like, "Hey, man," he was like listening to some Cannonball music. He was like, "Man, we can't let this die." I said, "Yeah, some great stuff." You know, no, we gotta do something. We gotta put together a band and play this music. I was like, "Okay, yeah, cool." Before we got together, he says we're talking about personnel that would work for the band. So I said, "All right, well, I got this trumpet." He said, "No, I got a trumpet player." I said, "My trumpet player is pretty good, man." He's like, "No, mine's all right too." We got together. Of course, the guy I brought in was Jeremy Pelt, and Louis like, "You right, that's the man right there." So then we ended up doing the cover. The other day I was listening to Phineas Newborn and The World of Piano, and half the record is Philly Joe and Paul Chambers, and the other half is Sam Jones and Louis Hayes. Louis is on the track where they do Oleo, and I was listening. Oh, it's just like, oh my God, how great this record was, man. And just like, and it's amazing how until you really get into jazz history that you know who Phineas Newborn is. But on the surface, a casual fan's not gonna know. And I was just like, man, how just magical this recording was. And I called up Louis to tell him how great it was. And he was really moved that I took time out to say that to him. And I say that because us as younger guys, we think of these guys as being so secure in their history and everything that they've done in life, and but they certainly appreciate acknowledgement, especially in these days when no one is thinking of them. Remember, these guys were like King Louis Hayes, what he meant to the scene, who he was, you know. And so now, who is he on the scene? We had talked a little bit about the NEA Jazz Masters Award, and I had been openly campaigning for Louis Hayes, and it wasn't just me. It was a number of people I know. But the reason is because it seemed like every year they passed over him. And I was like, wow, this guy is, uh, you know, if anybody is a jazz master, come on now. But when you take into account all that he's done and what he's meant in jazz, and then you look at who they've given awards to, this year, certainly, we all know Terry Lynn Carrington and we all respect her. And, she's done some great things in her life. No question about that. And at the same time, you know, the Masters series wanted, like, they look at, hey, how many women have we actually given this award to? I understand all of that. But the fact is, history is what it is. And history doesn't fit in your today's agenda. You know, and then the other thing is it actually affects Lewis. How does a real guy, a real master feel when his kid's going, why are you not getting one, granddad? Uh, uh, it's a lot to that. So it becomes, it's like almost if you're gonna have an award like that, you have a responsibility to really seek out the right people and not people that fit in politically to whatever it is you're trying to do.
This is why Lewis Hayes is Bout It. At the end of this season's Bout It, the featured artists will vote amongst themselves on who they think is Bout It. The winner will receive a cash prize and a Sirius Award. We are asking for your support to fund this campaign. The proceeds will only go to these legendary musicians. Let's lift up those who are really Bout It.